Hey guys, it's Ashley, your scrapping nerd, and I'm back today with a layout for Scraplift Crafternoon. It's where a bunch of us get together every Sunday at noon and we scraplift a beautiful layout. And so this is today's layout by Sarah Wyles, and make sure you check out the description box below so you can go and visit her channel, give her some love, watch the video, and then also all the description our video links are in the description box for everyone else playing along so you can see what beautiful things they did with Sarah's layout. And so today I'm going to use Blue Fern Studios collection, Mistletoe and Holly. And I just love this. It's a Christmas collection kind of with a vintage feel. And so I drew the inspiration from Sarah's from Sarah's layout for Christmas. And then you can see I did some of the horizontal lines that she had in her layout. And so I showed you there I was going to cut out the kind of floral cluster that has some berries and some pine cones in it, and I will cut that out kind of to use as a horizontal piece as a nod to Sarah's layout. Also, you saw that I pulled in a cut file, and this cut file was actually from MK and Janet's 31 Days of Cut Files. So I will put all that information below as well. It was in August, but I didn't finish all of my cut files, so I'm still working through them, but I definitely want to give acknowledgement to that. So all that information is below as well. And so I pulled in some heavy gesso and some distress ink in black soot, as well as some distress mica stain in tart cranberry. And so that was everything that I kind of pulled in for this layout. And so my background paper is kind of busy, and I felt like it clashed with my little floral cluster that I cut out. And so I'm going to use the heavy gesso to kind of fade away the background paper. And it's very subtle. You're not going to see a lot of it once the layout is finished, but definitely behind the cut file, it'll show through and it doesn't compete with the cut file. And so I really like to use the packaging technique, but I like to use bubble wrap because it gives it a little texture as well. And so I'm just taking this heavy gesso and I'm putting it on the little piece of bubble wrap that I have, and then using the packaging technique and dabbing it all over the area where I want to put the floral cluster along with the cut file. And so you can see here I kind of went a little bit higher on the right side because the cut file is going to be on the right side. And then I used my heat gun to dry it. And I also wanted to add gesso to the cut file because it will give it texture. And because it's heavy gesso, it is really thick. And so when I used the bubble wrap to dab the cut file, it definitely gives it a lot of texture. And so I really like how that kind of makes a cut file not seem so flat on the page. And once I use my heat tool to dry it, then I'm going to use the tart cranberry mica stain and spray the cut file. And you can see that the gesso, it makes the mica stain kind of spread across the paper. And so I set that over to the side to dry. And then I wanted to put the photo in a thin black mat to also help differentiate it from the busy background. I love these papers from Blue Fern Studio, but sometimes these kinds of papers are hard to use because they're so busy in the background. It's sometimes hard to figure out a way to separate your embellishments and your picture that's in the foreground from the background. And so this heavy gesso, I know right now it just looks like a big white blob on there, but it does help to separate those. And like I said, definitely behind the cut file. And so I'm getting this laid out, and I'm going to pull in some of this washi tape that I have that's in Christmas to kind of have a nod to Sarah's layout where she did the horizontal elements. And so I put this this red one first, and then I have this red and white stripe that kind of reminds me of like a candy cane. And then I have a green one that says Merry Christmas. And I just ripped the edges. And it's so funny. It's like I try to perfectly rip them to look like they're imperfectly ripped. And so sometimes I seem a little crazy to myself. But I also am going to put some in the bottom right corner as well. Again, a nod to Sarah's layout. And see, I did it that way, and I didn't think that it looked perfectly imperfect rip, so I flipped the piece around, and this one will just kind of fold over the edge. And I'm going to have a little cluster down here, so it just creates kind of a shelf for my cluster to sit on, and so it's not floating out in the ether of my layout. But I am liking how that's looking. And so here's my cut file, and you can see that with the heavy gesso and then spraying it with the mica stain, it really gives it kind of these highs and lows with the colors, and gives it so you can see that texture that the gesso gave, as opposed to if I just had sprayed the cut file, it would be one flat color. And then I'm going to take that black soot and just ink some of the edges. I didn't do every single part of it, and then I also kind of grazed the top of the cut file so it picked up those really high points in the gesso. And I don't know why I thought that the clock went with this picture, but I just really liked this idea. I was thinking kind of like a toy clock because it's got the little cogs, and the picture that I am scrapbooking is my best friend's children, and they are sitting with Santa. We go to the Zoo Lights, which is the local zoo. The animals aren't out, but you can pay, and so it's a way to get money for the zoo. And they set up all the lights, and they have little vignettes you can take pictures, and they also have Santa. And so we go and we stand in line to see Santa, and I feel like he has kind of this old world look to him, and so I thought this collection would work really well with this photo. And so I still kind of wanted to have a nod to the fact that it's children in the layout, and so I have my little snowman down there on the right, and then this clock I feel like has kind of a younger feel to it. And I took out the bright red rope that was through the tag hole of this snowman, because these are actually like tags for Christmas packages. So on the back of this it says to and from, and replaced it with this brown twine that I have. And I went through all of the flowers and this little floral cluster, and I used my foam and my little stylus just to add some texture. I pushed on the pine cones, and then the leaves and everything I pushed down the middle so they kind of roll up, with the same with the pine cones that are on the clock and everything. And I just like how that looks, and it gives some dimension. And then I did pop them up on some little foam dots that I have. And by adding the floral berries and the pine cones to the clock, I think it helps kind of bring in the Christmas aspect to the clock, because it's not a Christmas clock, you know. I'm just making it look like one. And I fiddled around with this layout a lot. In fact, of my floral clusters, you can see there's two the leaves that come down, and I pushed this Noel there. I had a Merry Christmas sign there. Like, I really tried to, I didn't like how the leaves, when I fussy cut them, how they look. And so in the end, I will cut those leaves off and not have anything there, because I couldn't figure out what I liked at the bottom. And so I'm just kind of adding a few little things. This was like a red ticket that I put on the side, and I found a chipboard piece in my stash that said Hello Santa. In the middle of the clock, I found a sticker that said Believe. And so I just kind of added some little things around the photos like I normally do. Sarah's layout is incredibly beautiful, and it's a lot more minimalistic than my style, where my style is like, let's throw everything that I own at the page. But I really enjoyed doing this layout, and Sarah's layout was just amazing inspiration. So make sure you check that out, as long as all of the links below. Everyone have a great day. Bye.